right, so I feel like this should be, instead of coffee and chat, it should be like car chronicles or something, because every time I have time to film these, I'm in the car. um, Today I want to tackle the subject of reasons you need support in your homeschool. I have my notes, so bear with me. I think support is so crucial, and it can definitely impact you as a homeschool mom. So these are some of the reasons that I find that you need support. Number one, emotional resilience. For sure, when you are homeschooling, especially over long-term periods of time, it can be emotionally challenging. Having someone to lean on you helps you stay grounded and in like control, keeps you from burning out. When you have your spouse that you can lean on, or a friend or a family member, having that support is so crucial in my opinion. Number two is perspective and feedback. I know that I can bounce anything off my friends or my husband, and I know that they're going to give me the best supportive answer towards homeschooling. So that is definitely a big plus for me. It helps you stay creative and gives you fresh perspective. That's what I was trying to say. To keep things the way that your vision is. Next is number three, financial support. I know that if my husband wasn't that supportive, I think our finances would be a number one topic struggle, because when you're homeschooling, you do have to purchase some things. I'm not saying you have to go out and buy all the things, but financial responsibility plays a role in homeschooling. I mean, if you think about it, like, we have to buy some stuff, whether we get free curriculum or not. And if you have an unsupportive spouse, it's going to be way harder for you to get those things. Next I have is what to do if you don't have support. Join homeschooling communities. 1000%. That has been life-saving for me, even though I do have a very supportive spouse. There are homeschool groups and all pretty much like-minded people that I'm surrounded with when we attend some of these group things. And then we also have online groups, co-ops, stuff like that. You can definitely take advantage of those communities to get that support that you might be lacking from, say, your spouse or your significant other. It just makes the journey feel less isolating. Number two, establish a routine that works for you. When you're solo or don't have that support, routines help that decision fatigue that you may possibly go through. Set up a flexible schedule that prioritizes like essential tasks, but also leaves room for change. Number three, utilize outside resources. This could be beneficial to you to utilize the library, to utilize like programs like OutSchool and stuff like that. Library programs, community resources, homeschool events, online courses, stuff like that will help you ease your workload, especially if like you're doing this on your own. Number four, it should have honestly been number one and the most important, is to set boundaries. You know who isn't supportive of you. You know who doesn't support your homeschool, who's always going to make a comment. Set those boundaries in place. Limit the time around those people as much as you can. Reducing those negative thoughts and people that are surrounding you can help you stay focused, but like also it's just so crucial to support your mental health, your peace, your safety. I know it could definitely affect homeschool if you don't have support, because it can make your attitude change. It could feel like you're doing this as you're trying to prove to someone that you can do this, that maybe it's your spouse. I have a couple friends who don't have supportive spouses, or not like supportive 100%, or very critical on what they do, or it's not structured as much. And they want more structure because they're public school minded and think that their child should have so much more structure in their day, or so many textbooks that they can account for and stuff. And sometimes you have to have those difficult conversations with these people and just like outwardly tell them, hey, I don't appreciate these comments, and I'm doing the best that I can, and this is the vision that I have for homeschool. Maybe we can compromise or something on some things, but I could really use like your support in my vision and stuff like that. So I think it's really important to have those difficult conversations with the people that may not be supportive, but then boom, set those boundaries, put up those walls to protect yourself, because it can really do damage to your self-esteem and the way that you homeschool your kids. And you want them to have the best version of you, and the person who's negative should too. And that is something you should drill home. Like, this is all for love. This is all to support our child. This is all for my choice. And, this is what I'm passionate about. You have got to put yourself out there to set those boundaries and really share what's in your heart and on your mind. I think that's very important. As for if you don't have a supportive spouse or significant other, those groups are going to be where it's at. You have to find community. You have to find homeschool life that will fill your cup when you don't necessarily get that like-mindedness at home. I'm not saying that like, oh my God, like divorce your husband because he doesn't support homeschool. You have to find that balance. You have to find support in some way, shape, or form that's going to help shape you as a homeschool mom. And then you have to like really have those difficult conversations. Why am I homeschooling? Why does my spouse not support this? I'm sure you have already had these conversations by now, but if you're thinking of homeschooling, these are definitely things to handle and get ahead of, because if your spouse is not supportive and you're like, I'm going to homeschool, things can progressively get worse if you don't figure out a solution, a compromise, a conversation, boundaries, stuff like that. I think that it is imperative to have some form of support in homeschooling, or you're just going to feel so alone and isolated. And I'm so grateful that my husband is super supportive in homeschool and of homeschool. I don't necessarily get the help from him to do any of the learning, but that is simply because he works too much. And I don't want to put any of that on him, because he's sacrificing like his work time. And so when he gets home, he just wants to have downtime and be able to do other things with her besides just like trying to figure out a textbook or something. And they do so much, like video games and, nature stuff. They bike ride, they, take the dog. There's a lot of things that go involved with homeschooling other than just out of a textbook. And I think that's also important to remember, is that we are homeschoolers. We are not like textbookers that are just going to sit like the regular public school setting and just like learn out of a book. We have multiple ways of learning. But find that support. I think it's so important. I'm curious to hear if you have anyone in your life who's unsupportive. I think that when we open up and share in the comments, that there's always going to be some positive feedback from someone who can help you through a difficult time, or somebody that, may just speak the right thing to you, or give you that community that you've been searching for. Because honestly, it is for sure the best thing is to have community. I did have like find creative outlets for support on here as well, like writing, journaling, vlogging about your journey to, help you process some of these ups and downs. considering like a coach or a mentor or a therapist so that you have somebody on your side that you can lean on and discuss things with, that can provide encouragement or guidance in your homeschool journey. And then lastly, I have practice self-compassion. You are amazing. You're rocking your homeschool. You're going to do great, and everything is going to be okay. Celebrate small wins. Celebrate allowing the flexibility in your plans. Celebrate remembering that you don't have to be perfect and you don't have to do it all perfectly, and that your child doesn't have to do it all perfectly. Practice that self-compassion and give yourself grace and your child grace, and know that you're on the journey for a reason, and remember your why. Remember your why. And if anything, like, I can be your support as well, because if anyone is not being supported, I feel like I would love to talk. So anyways, that's it for today. Leave me the comment down below, and I'll see you in my next one.